I mean, really, this is unbelievable. Now, this is supposed to be, and here comes Peter, so not everybody's here yet. This is supposed to be a digital dinner. This got started in...
so we're speaking ones and zeros.
Right, this got started about...
4 years ago.
No, more than that. It got started in 2006, I think, as a D-Star dinner, because that was the only digital mode. And in 2010, as some of the guys in Northern California started in DMR, we converted it to be a digital dinner. And of course, we've held that tradition since. So I want to find out if there's anyone in the room that wants to talk about, mention, be introduced, be acknowledged, or anything else about any other mode other than DMR. That was politically correct. So it is.
Well, how about digital mode on 20 meters?
You can talk about that too. So go ahead.
Basically, it's free DB. It's a codec, free software. All you need is 2 sound cards, one for your microphone and one to the radio. And we're on 14236. We're on digital mode, and it's free.
Free?
What is it?
You have to buy the radio.
It's free. No, you take your ordinary. If you could do packet, if you could do PSK 31, you're all set up. 1 HF.
Okay.
So what's the mode though?
Huh?
What's the mode?
It's codec.
Codec
2.
Open source. Free DVD.org. Yeah.
14 what? Wasn't sure.
And you're ready to talk about it. Bruce Perrin will talk about it. So
Do anything on 40 on that?
okay.
Peter's a good guy.
Anything on 40 meters?
Look at it, and he went right to the side by the woman. All right, so anybody else with any other digital stuff not DMR related? No. Okay, so the rest of us are here for DMR primarily?
Yes.
So how about self-introductions first? Just your call, your first name, and let's say where you live.
You want your ID number too? You want your ID number?
No,
Okay. I'm Jeff, KD6RC. I'm Jeff Foster from Santa Rosa, California. And this is my dad, Larry, and my sister, Robin, from San Jose.
Nice to meet you. Go ahead.
Who am I? Oh, I'm Joel, NN6J, also Santa Rosa.
I'm A86KD, Dennis, El Cerrito.
NG60 Bruce, Windsor.
Carter, K86FB, Honolulu.
Clem, K87HO, Kailua, Oahu, Hawaii.
I love the way you say that.
Ron, 86RH, Honolulu.
D, K86DE, Maui.
Greg Forrest, N6LDJ, Pleasanton. Alan, WA6DNR, San Anselmo.
Susan, I'm a friend of Alan's and I'm from Honolulu.
Peter, KG6, Mike,
Mo, AC6R from Reno, my wife Barbara.
Hey, Reno! Next big Peter, huh? Oh, next big Peter coming up, yeah!
Now, how many people, okay, this is a long shot. How many people have heard Mark on the radio? He's pretty quiet.
Yes.
More cool. Insects ID. I mean, he's pretty, he's not on very much. But these guys are cousins, right?
Yeah.
At the great grandfather level? Great grandfather. Imagine that. That's a small world. Go ahead.
Ed, WA6YDX, San Diego.
Joe, W6SMV, small negative voltage. I've been accused of being slightly biased. I'll know you too.
Paul, Alpha Golf 6, Sierra Romeo, Daniel, K60LC, I got a family call. Hang on.
Brad, 86QL, how was that?
Ray, WA6NBL, and Los Angeles, San Diego.
N6ID. Mark, K6ORJ, one of the climbers. KJ6NRO from Clowny, Scott.
Don, K7QQV, Alameda.
Yeah, W6ONT, Cyprus.
KC6OHTF, Morgan Hill.
Al, KK6AL, Santa Monica.
Jane, W87YDM, Amherst.
My name is Gary, W6GRC, and I am the northest person you have on DMR, and I challenge the San Diego and Los Angeles guys, for guys like me that have the Air Force and PayPaws in their neighborhood, get some VHF machines so when I drive to Southern California, talk on the network. And I'd like to thank everybody and give a round of applause to Tim, because if it wasn't for Tim, a lot of us wouldn't be here.
Bernie Spears, Chico.
I'm the BMW guy. You know that one.
I'm Mike, KF6OBI from Willows.
Paula, KK6OJL, Tomo.
Kirk, K6RCT in the phone. It's K6.
I lost my D.
He lost his D. Anyway, again, this is really this is the first of its kind. This is the first, let's call it DMR presentation and all that is happening this particular Pacificon. And so, just in contrast, how many people in the room own a repeater or more than one? By raising
Not at DMR.
Okay, so if you want to see a difference, it's this: the number of people that own repeaters that are part of the collective network versus another mode. All right, and that to me is a huge difference. And to underscore that even visually, this is the current footprint of VHF is in the red and UHF is in the teal.
That's pink.
This is pink. It's Red Shirt Friday. And the other color is teal? Cyan. So the cyan is UHF. Now, of interest, I want you to notice that this over here is all Northern California, as Gary's talking about. And because we have a unique problem in California, in as much as Beale won't let us put repeaters really at any high-level sites, kind of diagonal north for all intents and purposes, because you've got too much signal. So that means in the entire north of the San Francisco Bay Area, there would be no coverage on any high mountain without the VHF capability. Now, the negative of this, to be honest with you, is that the user base, then, if they really want to support DMR, have to buy two radios. They have to buy a UHF and a VHF, which is challenging. I am pleading with the ham radio manufacturers like ICOM and Kenwood, Olingo, and these kind of guys to make dual band, real ham radios that cover DMR. I don't know if we're going to have success, but this represents, I'm going to call it 4.5 years of work as far as building the network, but probably 80% of this has happened in the last 2 years, and the entire Southern California stuff has happened in 3 weeks. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, when Cecil put this thing up on Mount Lucas, which I had never heard of, and so, Greg does the plots for the group, and I get these coordinates, and I go to this thing that's online, and I do this plot kind of myself, and I'm like, I'm doing something wrong. There's no way it's got this footprint. And he does a real one, and lo and behold, I mean, it is every bit of that. So as he's leaving the site, he's handheld inside of a vehicle, and Southern Orange County, Central Orange County, he's like at a net 60. Like, what? How could this be? I think there's something wrong with the receiver up there. I think it's a little too sensitive. Anyway, so that's the thing to me is what makes this is enjoyable. All the participation, and not just people that are willing to put up a receiver. That's obviously part of it, but it's all the other stuff too. I mean, we got a compliment from, I forget who it was, but I know who it was. It was Steve, AI6DZ. From he works for Qualcomm. And so this is before SoCal committed to a secret and stuff. So he sends me an email and wants to know if he can get on the network. Oh yeah, absolutely. But his comments were not it was all about the quote, what he referred to as the back end. And he and I have talked on the phone. He's a marketing guy for Qualcomm. Well, this is a pretty big company. And in the RF area, and the things that impress him are the code flows that are generated, and the maps that are generated. Kurt, who's not here, W6FQ does all, and Kurt has never done a website before in his life before he did this thing. And the information that's up there, the accuracy, the timeliness of that information, the depth is unbelievable, and we hear it by a lot of people who get involved buying a DMR radio because they can go to the website and it's made easy. And that's really what you're going to see in a presentation tomorrow that Kurt put together. I'll give you some blueprints. You know, you talk about what's NorCal DMR. I mean, what is it? Well, it's a lot of things. It's obviously it's a group of repeaters, it's a group of people that know each other, they're friends. But it's bigger than that. It's a technology resource. It's open, and we share it with everybody. We're not looking to try to create a closed system. It's exactly the other way around. We try to be as open as we can and help people to get on the air and hopefully pass the control of their systems to them when they want them to be done that way. Because a lot of guys are going, I get involved, but I don't know how to do this part of it. Well, we'll do that for you for a while. And when you guys get up to snuff, we'll pass it over to you. Obviously, we'll have some recommendations and that kind of stuff. So the other thing, a lot of people talk about talk. And some people think that there's some guy sitting at the knock, that's the network access, dreaming up talk groups in a vacuum. That's not what we do. We have software that runs on not all repeaters because we don't have licensing capability. But I have a 7-seat license from software that comes from Russia. Greg and I met the guy in 2010, and the wife and I were over to St. Petersburg on a cruise in May, and we actually had lunch with Ivan. Of course his name was Ivan, he's Russian. They're all Ivan. Say Ivan, 50 people. But, so he's loaning us this software, which I think commercially this would cost, I don't know how many thousands of dollars. And we're not going to buy that because we don't need to. But this basically gives you the percentages and the time between interval X and Y, and the percentage of traffic that is that particular software. Okay? So everyone is familiar with the NorCal network, is familiar with 5150. That's on time slot 1, which is on this side, and it is responsible for 86.09% of the traffic. So when I say that there's no traffic, and somebody says, no, there's a lot of traffic. No, I'm sorry. You may think that that's a perception. This is factual. This is the real numbers. And then on North America, on time slot 2, it's 74.29% of the traffic that is on time slot 2 is North America.
How many repeaters?
Well, this is actually, they're only measured one repeater at a time, but since any of these that are active on, active on's active on.
Right.
So as we would turn these things to be push to talk, we will try to migrate the recording software, but the analysis software to a machine that's not. That would skew the numbers. We don't want to do that.
How do you know those are real numbers? Maybe I've been screwing with it.
No, I don't think so. Just actually, I found. I don't know if you found. I shouldn't talk about it. But let's just put it. A group in Maryland that we've all heard of that has 3 initials has validated the authenticity of these numbers because, by the way, they're listening. So that's all I'm allowed to say about it.
Do whatever that means.
But anyway,
Those are the dynasty.
But I can't tell you any more about that. That's the way you do it.
They're in Pennsylvania.
So,
they get their checks.
This weekend, what we're going to talk about is kind of the network as it exists today, and then kind of moving forward. When I say moving forward, I don't mean moving forward years. Because I guarantee you that whatever structure we recommend today is that somewhere tomorrow, I don't mean Saturday, but somewhere down the road, with the influx of users and the influx of repeaters, nothing that we're going to recommend today makes sense for a year or 2 from now. This thing is just mushrooming like crazy. And at least from my point of view, the idea that you key up on any particular talk group and you key up 700 repeaters in California would be absurd. I mean, nobody wants to do that, but we have the ability to bifurcate the network into just, in fact, one of Carter's guys was talking about the power, maybe it was Carter, was talking about the power of the Sea Bridge today. And they got a lot of talk groups in Hawaii that are just Hawaiian talk groups. So they're able to have on the same time slot. And they have
We had 6 simultaneous conversations on 2 time slots.
Right? Because
going to the Sea Bridge.
Because
of the PTT functions.
Different, you know, this group was this way, this group was this way, and they weren't interrupting one another. So they have their own Sea Bridge now in Hawaii, so they're able to do that kind of stuff. And the same things that we do. So what we're recommending is that every repeater, we have a local channel, and we recommend that talk group be 2, talk group 2 for standardization. Now we didn't invent that number; DMR Mark did, and that's a local talk group across the country, across the world. And we recommend that be on time slot 1. We're opposite from DMR Mark, and here's why. We got involved in this probably 2 years or 2.5 years later than DMR Mark did. So what they did is have their majority talk groups, which was like North America. They would have that on time slot 1 and talk group worldwide. Time slot 1 and talk group 1. The problem with that we found out kind of quickly is that when you buy a radio, the default of that radio is first of all ID 1, right? Time slot 1, talk group 1. That means every brand new person that buys a DMR radio, when they don't read anything, they basically take it out of the package and they key it up. They're basically on worldwide, keying up 900 repeaters. We don't think that's a good idea. So we take time slot or talk group 1, which is worldwide still, but we put it on time slot 2, so that it doesn't do that. And of course, I watch the Sea Bridge a lot, and I see all these 1s coming up. And I know what that is. It's a brand new user. He's got no ID, because he didn't know he needed an ID. And you know, at least we don't know who he is, but at least we know that there's somebody out there that's going to need some assistance getting an ID and that kind of stuff. So we then have the next time slot down, which not every group has this. In fact, I think there's 3. There's